Good afternoon. The time is 4:42 p.m. on November 18th, 2024. I'd like to call to order the November meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Sumter, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Palladino, and Chief Rilling, Mayor Rilling. Everybody calls me that, and I get used to it. And with Commissioner Collier Clemens will not be joining us this evening. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of October 21st, 2024. Do I have a motion?
We'll put the motion forward.
Put the motion forward by Commissioner Palladino. Are there any corrections, deletions, or omissions to the minutes?
I have none.
Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez and Commissioner Sumter, you're on mute. If you want to just raise your hand if you approve. Okay.
I abstained because I wasn't at that meeting.
Okay, so let
today. I'm in today, and
okay.
Then the last time. Right?
Let the record show that Commissioner Sumter abstained, but Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Palladino, and Mayor Rilling voted in favor. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody from the public who wishes to address the Police Commission?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay, so we will close public comment and move to the Chief's, I'm sorry, the recognition of Officer of the Month, Officer Taylor Akey.
Yes, Mayor Rilling, for October 2024 Officer of the Month, honored to announce that Officer Taylor Akey was named Officer of the Month for providing CPR to a 63-year-old male who was not breathing and eventually made a full recovery. On October 13, 2024, Officer Akey responded to 57 Toilsome Avenue on a complaint of a 60-year-old male with chest pain. As she arrived, she quickly determined that she was at the wrong address when the actual medical emergency was occurring at number 67. Upon entering the correct home, she located the subject down on the ground who was blue and not breathing with no pulse. Based on her assessment, she immediately began CPR for several minutes until the arrival of Norwalk EMS and Fire Department. The subject was transported to Norwalk Hospital, where he has made a full recovery due to her life-saving actions. If not for the quick response and dedication that you were sent to the wrong addiction with the successful application of CPR for several minutes, it is unlikely that this subject would have recovered from this medical emergency. Due to your excellent performance and dedication, this individual is alive. On behalf of the Police Commission, thank you for a dedication and a job well done. This is the second time in 2024 that Officer Akey has been recognized for a CPR life-saving effort by this commission as Officer of the Month.
That's really great, and quickly determined that there was a mix-up and then took care of it on her own and arrived in a timely fashion. And again, using the skills and training that the police department provides, was able to he was able to save able to save this person who was experiencing cardiac arrest. So I think that's an amazing thing that and it's always gratifying when you have an opportunity and are successful in saving a life. I know we've honored people for that in the recent past, and it's always nice to see the person come to the police commission or come to City Hall standing healthy. So I commend the officer and thought that that was a great act of saving a person's life. So any other comments? Or
For sure, her quick thinking and skill set ought to be commended, and definitely she's a valuable asset to the Norwalk Police Department. I want to commend her for a great job done.
I too just want to commend the officer for a job well done and for the quick thinking of realizing first that she was at the wrong house, though she was on the right street, I believe, on Toilsome. I think that's amazing that, and she was still over there. And when they described the person is turning blue in the face, and them still being able to get there and offer the kind of services that save the person's life. Well commended. Good job.
Great.
Yes, very gratifying to save a life and very gratifying to have your life saved. And thank you very much to that officer for doing that. Thank you.
Is she out working today? She's not available. She wasn't expected.
Excuse me? She was
wasn't
unavailable
expected
she was unavailable to be on today's meeting.
Probably well deserved.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the Chief's Executive Report.
Yes, Mayor. For October 2024 Chief's Executive Report. The end of October, 181 sworn personnel. There's 2 open sworn positions at this time. 1 officer on administrative leave pending internal affairs investigation. October 3rd, 2024, we swore in Officer Amanda Lopez and Officer Patricia Nelson. They're both lateral applicants. Officers Jamal Ben, Officer Kieran Mozo, and Officer Jennifer Hiron graduated from the Post Academy. So in totality, we have 6 officers on field training. Recruitment currently is 4 background investigations ongoing for a January Post Academy placement to fill those 2 open sworn positions, and then we'll have 2 ready to go just in case any more positions open up after that. Civilian personnel updates, 22 telecommunicators and supervisors assigned to combined dispatch. They're fully staffed. 14 civilian employees assigned to support staff positions. They are also fully staffed. On October 30th, department initiatives and current issues. On October 30th, 2024, the Connecticut State Police Crimes Analysis Unit published its annual report on the Uniform Crime Reporting Program. Local and state law enforcement agencies submit crime statistics to the National Incident-Based Reporting System. Acronym for that is NIBRS. The NIBRS data is used to create the state-based crime analysis. The analysis reports on 3 major fields of incidents: crimes against persons, which comprise of murder, manslaughter, kidnapping, assault, sex offenses, and human trafficking; crimes against property, theft, burglary, forgery, vandalism, extortion, motor vehicle theft; and crimes against society, which are animal cruelty, narcotic violations, gambling, and pornography. The number of crimes against persons reported in the city of Norwalk decreased by 7%, while the incidents decreased by 3.8 statewide from 2022 data. The number of crimes against property in the city of Norwalk decreased by 11.8%, while the incidents increased by 11% statewide from 2022 data. The number of crimes against society in the city of Norwalk increased by 93%. Mostly due, much of that data, that increase, it could be alarming on face value, but as you can see under the classification of what crimes against society is: animal cruelty, narcotic violations, and gambling and pornography. Most of those are self-initiated criminal investigations. Much of the data that comprises crimes against society is attributable to the Norwalk Police Department's self-initiated efforts to investigate illegal narcotic and weapon violations conducted by the Special Services Division. This increase in this category is primarily due to self-initiated arrests and investigations to deter illegal sales of marijuana and unlawful THC products from vape and smoke shops in the city. Overall, the city of Norwalk saw a decrease of 7.7% in crimes reported per 1,000 residents, from 41.4 in 2022 to 38.2 in 2023. 2025-2026 fiscal operating and capital budgets are being prepared currently by divisions and administrative divisions for submission to finance. We participated in a multi-town motor vehicle enforcement initiative with the Wilton, Darien, and New Canaan police departments. And we've also expanded our school resource officer program to 9 officers in the month of October, with 2 transfers to SROs. Currently, all budgets are being monitored by Mr. Dosmo of Administrative Services. Please see the appended spreadsheets for October 2024 budgeting status. As you can see by the graphs on page 3, we have a salary and overtime breakdown through the end of July 2024, 35% of salaries, and we're at 28%. So we're tracking right on track for salaries, and we are below overtime expenditures as of the end of October, based on the per capita through the year, the percentage through the year, excuse me. Page 4 is a comparison of sick and comp time for the last few months. As you can see, in October, we trended slightly lower with 155 sick days and only 34 workman's comp days used in October. So those are all lower than previous months. On page 4, page 5, there's also a comparison of salary and overtime clear based per month for July, August, September, and October. We are tracking those months, and those are consistent with vacation and time owed usage, which is high in July, August, and September, and other overtime initiatives.
Okay.
And lastly is the monthly report for administrative records, which tracks all our finances, our current projects, the school security overtime expenditures, our alarm administration, our extra duty administration, the records department, what we're doing currently in our records department. As you can see, we're tracking several different areas of what we're taking in and what we're doing in regards to permits and records requests. Our data entry is currently up to October 16th and October 17th, so we're tracking well with the data entry from all the reports. We have also conducted cross-training of our civilian employees, so they'll be ready to fill into each other's positions just in case we do have vacancies.
Okay, excellent report and a lot of good news in there, especially with crime being down and expenditures being right on track. It's good to see. Any comments or comments from the commissioners or questions?
Yeah, I have ones. Can you speak to the finance report bullet 3, Detective Bureau overtime? Just curious, any perspective you could give on that increase?
Yeah, that's usually case driven, and I'm gonna say most of that overtime was related. A lot of overtime was dedicated to the Earl Sebastian missing person case. As you can see, we received a lot of publicity since September and October. He was recently located last week. A successful conclusion of that missing person. He was found in New York City, and probably from the middle of September through October, we used a lot of overtime following up on leads. Officers, or the detectives, I should say, were liaison with the family. They were working with federal agencies. They were working with New York City. They were hunting down video. We spent a vast amount of overtime on that case.
Great, thank you. And it was a good outcome too. For it.
Yes, successful outcome. Successful outcome that he was found safe and sound.
Great report. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome, sir.
Commissioner Palladino or Sumter?
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary other than the report I thought was quite thorough, particularly for a person like me who haven't seen that. I don't recall seeing this report before, but it sounds to me like you guys definitely dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and putting a report like this together.
I like the format
particularly
too.
since it's ongoing.
The format is very nice.
Thank you.
Just for my knowledge, what school security overtime is for what?
It is an initiative. Sorry, sir. It is an initiative that we started post a school tragedy in Texas. The name slips me. A few years ago, we have added extra security patrols. Roving, we have dedicated school security officers at Noah High and Bryant McMahon, and we also supplement with roving patrols. It is a city initiative in conjunction with all public schools and the mayor's office that we provide utmost security to all our campuses currently, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further comments or questions?
I have none.
Okay, thank
I
you,
have none,
Chief.
Mayor.
Excellent report.
Yes.
Now we go into the operations report. Deputy Chief Blake.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Our operations report for October 2024 starts with our Detective Bureau. As you can see, the cases that were opened during the month of October, a total of 41 cases. The specifics are listed in the graph. They arrested a suspect by warrant for a sexual assault first and coercion. They arrested a suspect by warrant for the burglary of World of Beverages at 295 Main Avenue. And the charges are listed. Suspect was also arrested for his role in a negligent firearm discharge at his home. He was charged with the charges of reckless endangerment and tampering with evidence after he tried to repair the damage caused by the round that fired through his wall. Special Services in October opened 40 cases. And to the chief's point, or to the chief's report there, as you'll note, they proactively conducted a gambling case into the Elko Key grocery store and seized 4 gambling machines along with $2,500. In addition, they executed a search warrant at a smoke shop at 168 Main Street that was selling illegal marijuana, seizing $17,000 and 5 pounds of marijuana. So those crimes against society unfortunately continue. Again, proactive by our Special Services Division, doing great work. Special Victims Unit, they opened up 33 cases in October. They made an arrest by warrant of an individual for harmful communication with a minor to maintain an inappropriate relationship and risk of injury to that minor, and arrested a suspect by warrant charging sexual assault fourth and risk of injury to a minor. Marine Unit starting to wind down as the water's getting colder. However, they were called out to assist early morning with 2 individuals that had entered the water after crashing a stolen motor vehicle in Rowayton. The individual was subsequently pulled out of the water by our patrol division, but our Marine Unit was out there as the individual was kind of swimming boat to boat. The suspect was swimming boat to boat. They also were involved in an investigation where an individual intentionally dumped 47 gallons of diesel fuel into Norwalk Harbor and made an arrest for that illegal dumping and environmental harm caused by the individual. Made a total of 152 criminal arrests in October, and Patrol Division responded to 7,357 calls. As you'll see, broken down by shift. Second platoon, the day shift, remains the busiest shift in the department. As we move on to the SE report, 840 stops for the month of October, which is pretty consistent with last year. This month of October, we were very, very busy with a variety of other things going on in the city. And we're up to a total of 11,196 for the year, which obviously is well surpassed the total of last year's. And the one supplemental graph at the end is our comparison of specific crimes from 03 to 04. Any questions?
Commissioners?
I have none.
I have none, but thank you, Deputy Chief, for writing a good report. Appreciate it.
I have one.
Sure.
Sexual assault seems to be pretty high. Is that? And I don't ever remember hearing about it as much as I have this year. Is that, how do we compare that to last year? I mean, year to date, we have 17.
Again, these are what I would say is these are current investigations of sexual assaults that have occurred.
Okay.
Some of which have gone to arrest or warrant, some of which were ultimately did not end in an arrest of an individual based upon a variety of circumstances. So
Okay.
this is based on the reports that are opened up and classified as such.
Thank you.
I have one question regarding the 47 gallons of diesel fuel. How was that handled? Do we have a cleanup effort or?
Yes, Mayor. Our Marine Unit responded to the report. They received direct information, a direct call to the Marine Unit by an individual that had witnessed this going on. The Fire Department responded, as well as the state DEEP. Coast Guard was notified, and the DEEP hired a cleanup contractor. And the Fire Department, their initial response was to boom the area and the boat that still had a fair amount of fuel around it, but the majority of which was actually dumped in the harbor, and DEEP followed up with that cleanup effort.
Excellent. Any further questions?
I have none.
Okay. Next item is the administrative report, Deputy Chief, Community Affairs, Deputy Chief Dinho.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. For the month of October, the Community Policing Division had 709 calls for service. There were 36 major events. They were incredibly busy for October, and they handled a large number of events, special events, but the major ones are 36 that are listed here. They ranged from Coffee with a Cop at 4 locations. A very important one was the Faith in Blue that we had for that weekend at the beginning of October. They also attended the MAD Awards in Mohegan Sun for Officer Nieves and Officer Equi again. Crime prevention talk at the Marvin along with clergy. And the Faith in Blue weekend also included the gun buyback. Well, that was a separate, but during the same time, there was a Stu Leonard's Touch-a-Truck, and we had the Faith in Blue masses at Temple Bethel, St. Matthew's Church, and St. Philip's Church. Also during that time was the Sono Half Marathon. Additional Faith in Blue masses at the Word Alive Church, Canaan Baptist Church. And that closed out with the Monday morning Faith in Blue breakfast at the Norwalk Inn. They also attended the DVCC proclamation at City Hall. There was elder fraud prevention presentation at Kingsway, a wellness fair for Catholic charities, with BHU, and Room to Grow preschool. That was a mental health and resources awareness fair. There was another mental health fair at NCC that BHU attended. NCA nursery school visit. That was a Touch-a-Truck and a stranger danger presentation. There was also Roe-Waiton Farmers Market, a kids safety workshop at Lowe's, who hosted the heroes in our community. Community policing attended that with the fire department, which was very nicely attended. There was the St. Anne's Columbus Day celebration. The Citizens Police Academy opening session was on October 17th, and that continues in full swing. There was a Touch-a-Truck at Wolf Pit Elementary. There was another one at All Saints Fall Festival, another Touch-a-Truck. And they attended the Earl Sebastian Vigil at Vets Park on October 23rd. Thank God that he was found. A couple of Citizens Police Academy dates. Those run on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening. There was a Girl Scout tour of police headquarters. There was a Sono Mall pre-Halloween party, another trunk or treat at St. Anne's. There was a tabletop exercise at Sono Mall, a DVCC prayer vigil. And as mentioned before, the joint traffic enforcement with Wilton, Darien, New Canaan, and Norwalk Police Departments. And there was a trunk or treat at the Word Alive Church, and also another one at AAA, to include closing that out with the one at the Norwalk Police Headquarters. The traffic unit in October made 356 motor vehicle stops, and they did 15 enforcement citation to school bus violations, that people not stopping for the school bus with the semaphore out. They did 15 of those. They will frequently follow a school bus throughout its routine in the pickups and drops off, and watching specifically for that. When they see a violation, then they stop that vehicle. There was 74 parking violations issued, and selective enforcement locations, which we've mentioned in the past, is a combination of citizen complaints and data collected by the Yukon Traffic Crash Repository. So in the month of October, they documented and went to 83 separate locations to conduct traffic enforcement. The major ones are Highland Avenue, East Avenue, West Rocks, Winfield, Newtown Avenue, Chestnut Hill, Wilson Avenue, and Strawberry Hill Avenue. The Behavioral Health Unit opened 4 cases, addressed 36, closed 32. There was 13 individuals hospitalized from that. They partnered with the state's attorney on 2 cases, and they referred 14 to other services and worked with families on 15 of those cases. The training division taught a total of 13 subject areas, which were attended by 48 police officers. And the training breakdown should be included in your packet with officers and classes.
Deputy Chief, thank you so much for the report.
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate, what is on the behavioral health unit, work with family?
So what they do with that is that sometimes they will have suggestions, conditions in place where a family member could maybe monitor an individual that needs help, and they will get the family involved in that. Perhaps, you know, temporary shelter, making sure that they're taking their medications, getting to doctor's appointments. So it's good to involve the family, and then in some cases they're just not available, and they refer them to outside services.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Deputy Chief Denho, if you could, and I think I speak on behalf of the rest of the commissioners, just keep us informed of the major events, because I should be back on the road hopefully the end of this week or the beginning of next week, and I would love to attend some of this stuff. And I know you have sent it to us, and I appreciate it, and hopefully I could start being a part of some of it.
Of course, Mr. Commissioner, will do.
Thank you.
I have just a question. You may not have the information, but how many weapons did we get in the buyback program? I stopped by there. It was really, really impressive.
Let me see. I did not put that in the report. My apologies, but I believe I have. Scroll back through here, see if I have that.
So it was rather interesting. While I was there, there was two very nice looking pistols in a case. Each had their own case, and the gentleman asked me if he could buy them from us. I said, no, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the gun buyback program.
Hey, I don't have it off the top of my head, Mr. Mayor. I will do some research while this report continues.
That's fine. Thank you.
Just a question again, with regard to the buyback program, do you, or does the police department, if they come across something that's very rare looking, pistol or weapon period, do they still, what happens with some of those weapons? Are they placed somewhere for display, or do you burn them or mash them up, or what?
Yes, sir. Everything gets sent to the state for destruction. As sad as that sounds sometimes, but yes.
Yeah. So you guys don't have a case where you can keep rare objects or rare pistols or anything, derringers or whatever someone might turn in. In all cases, you just smash them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They get destroyed. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any further comments or discussion?
I have none.
Okay. Next, that brings us to the administrative report. Deputy Chief Lepore.
Yes, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. So for our October, we didn't have any stats or anything for the grants because most of them all closed in September, and all the reporting was done in September. So for October, a lot of our grants, all the applications were due. That's when they start opening them up, and the applications are due, and then we get awarded. So for grants and inspections, we had applications for 6 grants. The DUI, our Project Safe Neighborhood, our Drug Recognition Expert Instructor Grant, the JAG or the Justice Assistance Grant, our Click It or Ticket Grant, and then we had 2 American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA grants. We were also awarded 5 grants out of here. So we have our 2025 DUI grant that's coming up. Our DRE Instructor Grant was approved. Click It or Ticket Patrol was approved and awarded. And the ARPA 1A and 2A, both of those grants were awarded and were accepted at the Common Council meeting the other night, and we're waiting for the sign-off. We'll start to utilize those for the end of November going into the holiday season, which is basically when the Click It or Ticket starts and DUI starts. We continue to monitor funding through any state and federal grant initiatives. There were no staff inspections for the month of October. There's none scheduled for the month of November either. We have our next one will be in December, which will be our property inspection. For our crime scene unit, we had 126 persons fingerprinted, 39 of which were for pistol permits. They had 26 cases for requests for DVDs and or photos. 16 cases were processed for evidence. We had 116 patrol cases with the camera and photograph downloads for any scenes. Background investigations were conducted on 13 massage therapist businesses. They consisted of Massage Envy, Lily Spa, Westport Massage, New Canaan Massage, and Merit Massage. We had 17 solicitor permits that were requested for Power Home Remodeling, Comcast, and Renewal by Anderson. No pawnbroker or precious metal request, and the CSI unit was deployed for one case during the month. Professional standards. Our promotional exam announcement was made and a reading list was distributed to all sworn personnel. The exams will be for the position of sergeant and lieutenant. Written exam will be on February 1st of 2025. And the second part of the promotional exam is the assessment centers that will be held during the week of February 10th in 2025. To date, we have 8 officers or detectives that have signed up for the sergeant's exam, and I believe we have two sergeants to date that have signed up for the lieutenant's exam. One came in today. All our directives were updated and completed and distributed to all personnel electronically and hard copy if they desire. For body and dashboard cameras, we've had one issue with the body camera was not charging and one dashboard camera not powering up. Both were returned for Axon and replacement. One taser was returned for repair and is currently back in service. That all happened within a couple weeks. We had 53 requests for case videos for FOIs, lawyers or insurance or court. 28 discs were burned with videos and 27 electronic shares with the Stanford court were completed. Accreditation just continues to collect proofs and review of CLIA standards for our compliance and annual audits. And that is all.
Another excellent report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Comments or questions from the commission?
Great report, Deputy Chief Laporte. Thank you so very much. I have a question on, do we know the amounts on the grants that were awarded in October approximately?
I do. For the DUI patrol, I believe it's about $75,000. The DRE is about $45,000, and that's for teaching for our instructor. The Click It or Ticket grant, that's a small one. That's only $5,000, but that only consists of like 4 days in November and 4 or 5 days in May. So that's a very small one that we use. And then the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA ones, those are $35,000 each. We're going to be able to use those for patrol enforcement and equipment, but it has to be all approved prior to the use.
Yeah, and they're separated that way. One for patrol, the 2A is the equipment, is that it?
No, they both are for either patrol enforcement and or equipment. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions from the commission?
Just probably for my own understanding, when you get those grants, you said they have to be approved. Who
Yes.
approves them? The
Once we get
grant.
awarded the grant,
Yes.
I present it to the public safety meeting.
Uh-huh.
And then
Right.
what they do is once they approve that, if they have any questions or anything like that, then it's moved to the Common Council meeting on their agenda. And then if it's approved through there, it goes through Corporation Council and they review it before they give it to the mayor for his signature and acceptance.
Okay. It's clear. Thank you.
Mhm.
Great report.
And I will note that there are very significant reporting requirements for grants. You
Yes.
have to make sure that they want to make sure the money is expended appropriately as allocated. And grants, they're great. They do take a lot of time from making reports, etc. Any further questions or comments?
I have none.
I have none, Mayor.
Next, Chief, we have authorized record policy, AC Auto. I think I better ask somebody to move this forward for discussion.
I'll move forward the AC Auto.
Okay, so the item is on the table for discussion and possibly a vote. Chief?
Yes. Per Norwalk Police Directive, the Norwalk Police Commission governs the activities of our authorized duty records, Appendix 4.0. Violation of authorized record tow policy. On September 11, 2023, Officer Mark Volts received a complaint against AC Auto Body and its owner, Anthony Sarasso, of 182 Main Street, New Canaan. AC Auto Body, an authorized towing record for the Norwalk Police Department, had allegedly overcharged a customer while towing on behalf of the Norwalk Police Department towing rotation list. After a motor vehicle accident, AC Auto towed a vehicle, charging the customer $2,482.69 to return the vehicle. Upon investigation, the only permitted charge permitted by the state of Connecticut for this tow was $161.60 and $161 for the storage. AC Auto Body overcharged the customer $2,160.09. Officer Volts issued Anthony Sarasso an infraction of 6 counts of violation of Connecticut General Statute 14-66A, records towing and transporting, on October 23, 2023. Sarasso pled not guilty, and a magistrate in Stamford Superior Court heard this matter on November 8, 2024. Anthony Sarasso was found guilty on all 6 counts of violation of Connecticut General Statute 14-66E, subsection E, an act committed while working at the behest of the Norwalk Police Department. On November 22, 2023, Officer Mark Volts received a second complaint of overcharging from another customer whose vehicle was towed by AC Auto Body after it was involved in an accident on November 15, 2023. In this case, AC Auto Body charged the customer $1,761.42 to release the vehicle. In this case, the state of Connecticut authorized rates should have been towing $149.20 and storage $208, totaling $357.90. An overcharge of $1,420.52. On December 13, 2023, Officer Volts issued an infraction to Anthony Sarasso, charging 8 counts of violation of Connecticut General Statute 14-66A, subsection 3, violation of record statute. Sarasso also pled not guilty to these charges, but was found guilty by a magistrate also on November 8, 2024, after a hearing. Chapter 4.0, Appendix A of the Norwalk Police Directive, Authorized Records Policy, governs the rules and regulations of all authorized records that have performed services on the behest of the Norwalk Police Department. The Board of Police Commissioners is responsible for all matters and activities. Anthony Sarasso, owner of AC Auto Body, has been found in violation of Connecticut General Statute 14-66(3) on multiple counts in the Norwalk Police Department rules and regulations. These violations and infractions have adversely reflected upon the Norwalk Police Department, and these violations are subject to sanctions by the Board of Police Commissioners. It is my recommendation that AC Auto Body be removed from the Norwalk Police Department's authorized towing record list. I've also included the supporting reports and affidavits in the court records for your review.
Thank you, Chief. Good report and very troubling. Do I have any comments from any commissioners or questions?
I do. This came up before this commission. Some of the commissioners may not have been on the commission then. And if I recall correctly, no action was taken because of the pending court. Can you confirm that, Chief?
Yes, I did note it in a previous police commission, but I withdrew the matter because I wanted due process to follow through.
Right.
I wanted, before this commission went forward with any action, I wanted to assure that Mr. Sarasso got due process, and he has, and it was heard in a court of law in Stamford in November, and he has been found guilty.
Okay, that was important because I couldn't recollect the actual details of us taking action then, and it was because of that pending court case. Thank you.
Any other questions or
Yes,
comments?
I'm just wondering what happens when somebody is found guilty in a case like this where the same auto body shop was found twice in two different parties to overcharge them? What's the final due process in terms of the person either getting their money back or I also agree with you that an auto body shop like this who's overcharging need to be removed from the police department's authorized towing list. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But I'm just wondering, do people get their money back, or where does that go from once they're found guilty?
It's a two-stage process. One's a criminal court of law in which they were fined by the state of Connecticut for violation of the Connecticut General Statute, and they could be pursued civilly in civil court by the owners of the car for civil remedy on the overcharging.
And the other thing is, with a person like this, if they no longer work for, say, Norwalk Police Department, but they're still overcharging, are they still allowed to work for maybe Stanford or New Canaan, where they're from, or other places? Because sometimes the overcharge people might just be so frustrated they just pay, and everyone may not take them to court. What happens to an auto body shop that does this? Well,
This matter could be referred to the state of Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles for their review.
Okay, all right.
So they still have recourse.
Yes, sir.
How would they know? If in other words, what I'm saying is if they don't know this, that he was found guilty and they're just not aware of it.
We're probably obligated to report this to the Department of Motor Vehicles,
Okay.
just to protect other citizens who could be victimized.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is something that can't be tolerated, and they certainly should come off of the tow list for Norwalk. I think for every municipality, but certainly we can't have them in Norwalk.
I agree.
If there's
I
no further,
also agree. I think it's evident.
go ahead. If there's no further comment or question, Commissioner Palladino, did you wish to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to remove AC Auto Body from the tow list for the Norwalk Police Department.
Are there any further discussion?
Is there an effective date immediately?
I would
That
I
would
would
be-
say
yeah.
effective immediately, but I'll defer to the chief.
Yeah, yes, the motion should take effect immediately, please.
So effective immediately.
Any further comments or questions?
I have none.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Chief, and thank Officer Volz for that excellent report.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, he does a great job. Thank you.
Next, we have personnel matters. First item is tuition reimbursement. Sergeant Nathaniel Polino, do I have a motion to move that forward for discussion?
So move.
Chief, you want to give us
Yes, Sergeant Nate Polino has submitted a application for tuition reimbursement. He is present educational background. He has an associate's degree. He is pursuing his criminal justice, University of New Haven, bachelor's in cyber threat intelligence and financial crimes investigations. The course taken was Foundation of Digital Forensics. It's a 3-credit course, $1,520. Total fees were $4,560. So 50% of that will be $2,280. There are no late fees or any adjustments. I look on the invoice. His credit hours are attached. His final grade is an A, and he received approval for this course in April of 2023.
Thank you. Very complete packet you put together. Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
I have none.
I have none.
And Chief, this is all according
have
to
none.
the bargaining agreement.
Yes, sir. It's all consistent with the current collective bargaining agreement, 50% reimbursement.
So all in favor of approving the tuition reimbursement for Officer Nathaniel Polino?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have, can I have somebody move forward, a motion to move forward for discussion, the tuition reimbursement for Officer Eslam Elisi?
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Sumter. Chief?
Yes. Officer Ellisley, who currently has his bachelor's degree, is pursuing a master's degree in public administration and criminal justice from Sacred Heart University. He took 4 courses: law, society and ethics, fundraising and nonprofits, communication and crisis management, and senior capstone seminar. That's 12 credits at $940 per credit. Is $11,280. The associated fees are $195.
That's an ambitious curriculum.
Yes, we're going to, upon looking at the bill, we're gonna have to reduce this because he added his late charges to this.
Is that the
So,
195?
No late charges, I think.
yeah,
173. And 4509.
Chief, it looks like he did the registration fee of $115, the $11,280, the student library fee of $40, the graduate student fee of $40, and came up with that number from those 4 items, if I'm correct. I looked at it. And it didn't
Yes.
look-
yes, you are correct. He did not add the late charges.
Right. I'm just looking at myself.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yes, you are correct, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay.
So that is a true amount, $11,280. Associated fees, $195, making a total of $11,475. 50% of that is $5,737.50.
Correct.
He has added his invoice, his grades are all A's. He has 1 B in his capstone. And he has received a previous approval of these courses in a prior police commission in May of 2024.
So I have a question. So we settled the question of what was included in that 195, right? And if we go to the chart on the statement details, how about the bottom section? Where does that come up? The registration fee 115, the student library fee 40, and graduate student fee 40. Does that come in, or did he omit that? I'm just trying to understand that.
I think
No,
he omitted that.
Huh?
I think he omitted that for some reason.
So, like inadvertently, you mean?
That I do not know.
No, I think the 195 represents those fees that you're talking about, Commissioner.
It does. It does.
The student library fee, the graduate student
But
fee.
they come up twice. You see up above? That's what I'm trying to reconcile in my brain. 115, 40, 40 on top, and on the bottom, it comes up again.
Yeah, every time you register or you
But are
You-
these
you have
not
fees at
separate
different times.
courses?
pardon
Right.
me? Different times that he registered.
So is he partially being reimbursed for the fees or fully? I'm just trying to get that part.
I have stated what he has requested, so we're gonna have to go back to him to clarify, but I am going by his request.
Okay. Because I mean, it looks like he's underestimating if that's the case,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says 24 spring semester, and this is 24 summer semester.
It looks like he's $195 short. That
Yeah.
the fees should be doubled.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do we do?
I can go back to him and clarify, and we could take care of it at the next meeting, if it's okay with the commission.
I wouldn't want to hold him up. We could make a motion to approve this, subject to you getting the proper information and for submitting the proper paperwork, and then send it to the commission.
I will do that.
Okay.
I'll clarify with him tomorrow.
I concur.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
So we need somebody to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that the officer be reimbursed for the courses taken and for the amount submitted, unless there's some changes, and that could be handled by the chief.
Any further comment or discussion?
I have none.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, Chief, I believe you want to go off the agenda for Sergeant Calise. Is that correct?
Yes, we had a submission
Well,
application.
let's vote to amend the agenda first. We need a motion to amend the agenda to consider the drop plan for Sergeant Calise.
I'll
moved.
put the motion forward. Oh, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, Commissioner Lopez moves it. Now, Chief.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Angelo Salvatore Calise has officially applied for the deferred retirement plan. I have the application in front of me. It is full and I have reviewed it. It is, he started on August 1st, 1996. He is looking to begin the drop plan on February 1st, 2025 and fully retire on January 31st, 2030, being on the drop plan for 5 years. The package was prepared by Mr. Dosmo in Administrative Services and signed and notarized, and I reviewed it, and it appears that he does qualify based on the collective bargaining agreement, based on years of service and age. And with the commission's approval, the application is sufficient.
Any comments, questions from the commission?
I approve as long as we get to keep Sal for 5 more years.
Yep. Yeah, we always hate to lose an officer, but it gives us an opportunity to know that they're going to be retiring.
Yes, Sal's a great guy.
Any further comment or discussion?
I have none.
I have none there.
All in favor of approving the drop plan request from Sergeant Salvatore Calise?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Chief, complimentary letters?
Yes. Yes, we got a letter from Dean Peckham from Nathan Hale Middle School, writing to you on behalf of Officer Stephanie Howard. Officer Howard has been a school resource officer for Nathan Hale Middle School since the beginning of the school year. We have thoroughly enjoyed having her with us. The student, staff, and our Nathan Hale families have come to see her as a part of the school community. We have students who seek her out, and I have had several staff members who have come to me to tell me that they feel safe and supported having her there with us. Her constant presence in the hallways has made it feel significantly safer in the building. She has proven to be a valuable member of the Nathan Hale family, and we are looking forward to having her here with us as our SRO. Sincerely, Stephanie Peckham.
Very nice letter.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And school resource officers are tremendously valuable to the schools themselves. How many do we have now, Chief?
9.
9 school resource officers at various schools throughout the city. And some of them go back and forth between schools?
Yes, we have 2 permanently assigned we have 1 assigned to each high school on a full-time basis, and the other 7 rotate geographically in a combination of elementary, feeder schools, and middle school.
Good.
It's
Comments
intriguing to see that we have that little comment. We have students who seek her out, which is nice to hear that, because it says that they look up to her.
Yes, that's common. That's common.
Okay, if there's no further discussion on that, next, Chief, we have one more.
Yes. Dear Chief Walsh, your law enforcement family supports you and thanks you for your service. Will you please give my thanks to Sergeant Tejada and Geismer for their life-saving service to rescue the kayakers? Sincerely, Kirshen.
Mom of Leo. That's all. You need Mom of
Yes.
Leo.
Yeah, exactly. Mother of law enforcement from Cocoa Beach, Florida. I guess she had seen when Officer Tejada and Sergeant Tejada and Sergeant Geismer rescued the kayakers in Westport in last month when under some dire conditions where they had gotten swamped and went overboard in very cold water. So both of them did a great job in responding to that.
Comments or questions from the commission?
I just think it's a nice thing when people actually recognize and really take the time to send a note like this to the Norwalk Police Department and directly to the chief. Because I know oftentimes I say, I'm going to get that out. And you look around and the time goes by and sometimes it's not done. So this is commendable again.
Yes, we always do appreciate that. And I'll tell you, I am 100% positive we probably get more complimentary letters than we get complaints.
Wonderful.
And that's a tribute to the professionalism of our officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see and well deserved.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, it definitely makes the community appreciate the valuable services that the officers have on the entire Norwalk, which is great.
Okay, so
Mr. Mayor,
yes,
my apologies. I looked up that case
Oh.
report for the gun buyback, and a
Yes.
total of 36 firearms were recovered that day.
very nice. Very nice. 36 firearms taken off the streets so they can't fall into the hands of somebody who shouldn't be having a firearm or who has ill intentions with it. Good job.
My apologies, I left it out.
Nope, that's fine. We got the information rather quickly. So the next meeting is December 16th, 2024, 4:15 p.m. I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Commissioner Sumter moves. We're adjourned at 5:40 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Happy
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
everybody.
Yeah, happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.